Hey everyone, today what I wanted to do is actually do a little bit of gait analysis. So here we're going to focus kind of on two things. We're going to look at some glute maxes and we're going to look at feet. So sorry that it's all in black and it can be a little tough to see, but hopefully in the slow motion you can see what it is that we're going to talk about. So first thing we want to look at is when a hip comes back towards us, that is a glute max that is inhibited, and a hip that goes forward is a glute max that is facilitated. So when it's facilitated, it is in external rotation, and when it's inhibited, that hip should be in internal rotation. So if you take a look here, look at the right side. When that hip comes back to us, that glute max gets a little bigger, a little stretched out, so it's inhibited. And when the hip goes forward, that glute max should get a little smaller, a little tighter, right? Because that muscle needs to flex to externally rotate. So if you look at her left, you can see how that left glute max, when it comes back towards us, actually stays a little bit shorter and a little bit tighter. You can actually see her glute max stays flexed when it comes back towards us. And then when the right comes back, it doesn't look nearly as flexed. So when she's shifting over onto her left and her hips coming back towards us, she should be going into internal rotation, and that glute max should be inhibiting, but it's not. When her right is moving forward, it should be going into external rotation, but her right glute max isn't facilitating to get her right hip forward. So actually what she's probably doing is extending her lower back, her QL, her quadratus lumborum, to create some back extension for her in order to get that right hip forward so she can shift over onto her left side. So just take a look at that again. You know, it's in slow motion for you to see when her left hip comes back, her left glute max just doesn't stretch out and get as big as her right glute max does. So let's move on to the feet. So here's where you can see she creates a little more external rotation. So look at her left foot to start. It stays fairly straight. So it's fairly straight when she heel strikes, and it's fairly straight when she toes off. There's not that much change when she swings through the air. She's got a little bit of external rotation there. But look at that right foot. So on toe off, you're going to see her right foot turn way out to the side, and then when she heel strikes, she's still in a bit of external rotation through the foot, which is really tibial external rotation. So in order for her to get some external rotation on her right side, she's actually more externally rotating through the tibia to create so that she doesn't bang the back of her left leg with her foot. Right? Otherwise, if she stays in full internal rotation, she's going to kick the back of her left leg, right? Okay, so these are just some observations that are common in most people. Our left pelvises are more forward and externally rotated than our right pelvis is. It's called a left anterior interior chain, left AIC pattern, and you can read all about that through the Postural Restoration Institute. Okay, and so that is very common for us. It's not ideal, but it's very common. So something that we would want to do for this individual would be to learn to facilitate a right glute max to get more external rotation through that pelvis, but also to inhibit her left posterior so that she learns to get more internal rotation on her left pelvis. So we can do that in a number of ways, and we can talk about that in a number of different exercises, but I thought this was a fun exercise just to sort of show what are some common occurrences that we might see in regular gait in most people.
If you enjoy these exercises, consider joining us at patreon.com/rowstrength, where we go over other exercises to help with postural correction, to help get you moving better so that you are free to do whatever it is that you want to do.